Have you ever wondered why no matter how much protein you eat or how often you work out, your body still feels weaker year after year? I see it every day in my clinic, men and women over 55 who are doing everything right. They take their protein shakes, their omega-3 capsules, they walk, they lift, they sweat, yet every month their arms feel softer, their legs lose strength, and their energy fades like a dimming light. And it terrifies them because deep down they know what that weakness means. It's not just about losing muscle, it's about losing independence, confidence and time. But what if I told you the reason isn't your age or your workouts at all? What if the real problem hides in what you don't take two simple nutrients that could completely transform how your body rebuilds itself while you sleep? Tonight, I'm going to reveal them. And once you understand how they work, you'll never look at bedtime the same way again. Because muscle isn't built in the gym, it's built in the dark while you rest. That's where our story begins with magnesium. Every night I tell my patients the same thing. Your muscles don't grow when you move, they grow when you stop. That still surprises people. They believe effort builds strength, but it's actually recovery that transforms it. And there's one mineral, quiet, invisible, almost forgotten, that decides whether that recovery happens at all: magnesium. When I was younger, I thought muscle loss was inevitable after 55. Now I know better. What really happens is that the switch for repair, what I call the night switch, gets stuck in the off position. Magnesium is what flips it back on. Without it, you can lift, stretch, sweat, and still wake up feeling smaller and weaker. Magnesium glycinate is the form I recommend because it's gentle, absorbable, and directly feeds your nervous system. Once it's inside your cells, it triggers a process called protein synthesis, the body's natural rebuilding code. It also helps transport amino acids, the raw materials of muscle, right into the fibers that were damaged during the day. Think of it as the delivery driver bringing bricks to a construction site while everyone else is asleep. But here's what most people don't realize: up to 80% of adults, over 60 in the US, are magnesium deficient. It's not because they eat poorly, it's because age quietly lowers stomach acid, making it harder to absorb magnesium, even from healthy foods. Medications like diuretics and acid blockers drain it faster. So even if you eat spinach, almonds, or salmon every day, your body might still be starving for it. A study from the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that older adults who took magnesium before bed improved their muscle strength and performance within 12 weeks without changing their workouts. Their muscles didn't just recover, they adapted better, like a well-oiled machine, learning to rebuild itself overnight. When my patients start taking 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate about half an hour before bed with a small glass of water, they often notice the change in just 1 week. They wake up calmer, stronger, and surprisingly their sleep feels deeper. That's because magnesium relaxes both the body and mind, allowing growth hormone to rise naturally between midnight and 2 a.m., the same hours your body repairs tissue and burns fat most efficiently. I tell them to make it a ritual dinner with a serving of grilled salmon, a handful of pumpkin seeds, and a little dark chocolate for dessert. Together, those foods provide nearly 200 milligrams of magnesium and taste like comfort itself. It's a dinner that doesn't just fill your stomach, it fills your cells with what they've been begging for. But there's something even more fascinating. Magnesium doesn't work alone. It's like the opening act at a concert. It sets the stage, but it needs the headliner to bring the real energy. Without the next mineral, the results you feel from magnesium will hit a ceiling, and that next mineral, as you'll see, is what truly flips your hormones into muscle building mode. Because while magnesium restores your recovery, it's zinc that wakes your strength. I've always believed that magnesium opens the door to recovery, but zinc walks right in and turns on the lights. Without it, the entire hormonal system that fuels strength, focus, and muscle repair stays dim. Zinc isn't just another mineral, it's the quiet conductor of more than 300 enzymes in your body, each one playing a part in how you grow, heal, and feel. When I first started studying age-related muscle decline, I noticed a pattern that nobody was talking about. Men in their 50s and 60s with normal diets and even regular exercise were showing low testosterone, slower recovery, and higher inflammation. The common thread: they were all low in zinc. It's a deficiency so subtle that blood tests often miss it, but your body feels it: slower, wound healing, poor sleep, fading libido, and that unshakable sense of fatigue no matter how much rest you get. What makes zinc truly powerful is how it works while you sleep. Around 11 p.m, when magnesium has already calmed your nervous system, zinc steps in to spark a natural surge of testosterone and growth hormone, two hormones that quietly fall every decade after 40. This hormonal lift is what helps muscle tissue rebuild faster, bones stay dense, and metabolism remains strong. A 2023 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults supplementing with zincpicolinate increased lean body mass by nearly 30% compared to those who didn't, 30% without any extra hours in the gym. That's the beauty of zinc picolinate or zinc glycinate. They absorb efficiently without upsetting the stomach. I usually recommend 15 to 30 milligrams about half an hour before bed on an empty stomach, or at least 2 hours after dinner. That timing matters because zinc competes with calcium and iron for absorption. Most people don't realise that taking a multivitamin at night can actually block zinc from working at all. But when you get it right, you'll feel the shift. Patients tell me they wake up feeling sharper, more energised, like their engine has finally been tuned. One man, 67, told me he hadn't felt morning strength like that in decades. Another said his workout started to feel rewarding again, less soreness, more progress. And almost all of them reported sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Zinc also helps your immune system recover from daily stress and inflammation. When the body is constantly fighting low-level inflammation from processed foods, lack of sleep, or even emotional strain, it steals nutrients meant for muscle repair. Zinc returns balance to that equation. It gives your body permission to focus on rebuilding instead of just surviving. I often describe zinc as the body's internal architect. Magnesium lays the foundation, calming the system and setting the rhythm. Zinc walks in and starts construction, lifting testosterone, driving protein synthesis, strengthening the structure from the inside out. Together they form a team. One restores the mind-body connection, the other ignites the physical transformation. And yet, as powerful as these two minerals are, most people unknowingly sabotage their effect every single night. They swallow pills that sound healthy, vitamins that promise energy or strong bones, but when taken at the wrong time they do the opposite. They block magnesium and zinc disturb sleep and silently slow muscle growth. That's why, before I ever give a supplement plan to my patients, I teach them what not to take at night. Because if you want to grow stronger while you sleep, avoiding the wrong combinations is just as important as taking the right ones. Now let me show you the 3 common nighttime habits that quietly destroy your recovery and how to fix them before they steal another ounce of your strength. I always tell my patients that timing can be the difference between progress and frustration. You could take the best supplements in the world, but if you take them at the wrong time, your body will treat them like junk mail, ignored, wasted, even harmful. And nowhere is that more true than at night when your body's recovery machinery is supposed to be running quietly in the background. That's why I call these next 3 mistakes the silent killers of muscle growth after 55. The first culprit is iron at night. Iron is vital for oxygen and red blood cells, but it's also a heavy hitter. It's stimulating, reactive, and when taken at the wrong time, it can feel like drinking an espresso right before bed. I've met countless seniors who take their iron supplements after dinner thinking they're helping their energy. What they're actually doing is interrupting the deep stages of sleep, where growth hormone peaks. Studies from the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that evening iron intake reduced sleep quality and increased night awakenings in older adults. Worse, iron competes directly with magnesium and zinc for absorption, leaving all 3 less effective. I tell my patients if you need iron, take it with breakfast alongside foods rich in vitamin C like orange juice or strawberries. That's when your body actually uses it. The second mistake is taking B-complex vitamins before bed. I know this shocks people, but doctor, they say my B vitamins are for energy and nerve health. Exactly. That's the problem. B vitamins, especially B6 and B12, act like metabolic caffeine. They fire up your brain, increase alertness and raise cortisol. Taking them at night is like inviting your metabolism to a dance party when the rest of your body wants to sleep. In one clinical study, participants who took B-complex in the evening experienced delayed sleep onset and reduced REM cycles, the exact phases when your brain and muscles recover. I tell my patients to move their B vitamins to breakfast or lunch where they'll boost energy during the day instead of stealing rest at night. The third and most common mistake is high-dose calcium without magnesium before bed. This one frustrates me the most because the intention is good, people want strong bones, but calcium without its partner magnesium is like pouring concrete. Without water, it hardens where it shouldn't. Instead of building bones, it stiffens muscles and can even deposit in soft tissues, leading to cramps, tightness and fatigue. Calcium and magnesium need each other in a 2-to-1 ratio to work properly. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who took calcium supplements alone at night showed increased arterial calcification and decreased muscle flexibility. The fix is simple: spread calcium in smaller doses with meals and let magnesium take the night shift alone. I remember one patient, Dorothy, 71, who came to me complaining of nightly cramps and constant stiffness. She had been taking 1200 milligrams of calcium right before bed because she thought it would help her bones. Within 3 weeks of switching to daytime calcium and nighttime magnesium glycinate, the cramps disappeared. 2 months later, she was walking her dog again. No pain, no stiffness, just freedom. These mistakes sound small, but they add up. Every restless night, every muscle cramp, every supplement taken at the wrong hour, it all chips away at your strength. The good news is that the fix is instant. You don't have to overhaul your life, you just have to respect your body's clock. Because when you remove these nighttime blockers, magnesium and zinc finally get to do their work uninterrupted, and that's when recovery accelerates, energy returns, and aging no longer feels like decline, it feels like awakening. But nothing convinces people more than seeing it happen in real life. I've watched patients who were ready to give up on their strength, make a simple timing change and regain years of vitality. Let me tell you about 3 of them. Their stories may sound familiar, but their transformations will remind you that it's never too late to rebuild. When I think about why I do this work, it always comes back to the faces of the people who refuse to give up. They remind me that strength is not just a number on a scale, it's a spark of life that can be reignited at any age. Margaret was 62 when she came to see me. She was doing everything right. Balanced meals, resistance bands, long walks, but her energy was vanishing. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like I'm shrinking." When I reviewed her supplements, I saw the issue immediately. She was taking iron and calcium at night right alongside her magnesium. I asked her to switch the iron to morning and move calcium to lunchtime. Then I added 350 milligrams of magnesium glycinate and 20 milligrams of zinc picolinate before bed. 4 weeks later, she returned with tears in her eyes. "I slept through the night for the first time in years," she said, "and I actually woke up feeling strong." 3 months later, she had gained 5 pounds of lean muscle without changing her workouts. Then there was Ryan, a 68-year-old retired firefighter. He trained at the gym 3 days a week, but couldn't recover. "My muscles ache even after light workouts," he told me. When I asked about his supplements, he proudly showed me his nighttime routine B complex right before bed for nerve repair. I smiled and explained that those vitamins were keeping his brain wired instead of letting his body rest. We switched his B complex to morning, kept his magnesium and zinc before bed, and within 2 weeks his sleep transformed. At 6 weeks his grip strength improved, his soreness disappeared, and he joked that he finally felt like a firefighter again. And Dorothy, you've already met her story of calcium overload, but what struck me most wasn't her recovery, it was what she said afterward. "I thought my body was too old to change," she told me. But it just needed the right timing. I see this pattern again and again. People don't lose strength because they're lazy or old, they lose it because no one taught them how their body clock changes with age. Each of these stories shares the same theme: awareness, timing, and consistency. Magnesium rebuilds the base, zinc rebuilds the drive, and removing nighttime blockers clears the path. Once all 3 are in sync, the results follow naturally. Their skin tone brightens, balance returns, and that quiet sense of optimism comes back. That's the true reward of this work, not just watching muscles grow, but seeing people regain confidence. Margaret started hiking again. Ryan built a small home gym in his garage. Dorothy began volunteering at her church garden. Every one of them realized something profound. Strength is not just physical, it's emotional. It's the feeling of waking up and knowing you still have control over your body and your life. And as I tell every patient, it's never too late to begin. The science is there, the process is simple, and the results are real. But there's one more truth that ties it all together. One message I want you to remember long after this video ends. Because rebuilding your muscle isn't just about supplements, it's about reclaiming your future. Now let's talk about what that truly means, and how a single choice tonight could start changing your body by morning. If you've made it this far, you already understand something most people never do. Your strength doesn't fade because of age. It fades because no one ever showed you how to work with your body's natural rhythm. Magnesium and zinc aren't just supplements. They're your body's signal to rebuild, to rest, and to rise stronger with each passing night. When taken with intention and consistency, they turn sleep into the most powerful workout of your life. So tonight, give your body the same care you give everything else. Take your magnesium and zinc, turn off the noise, and let your body do what it was designed to do: heal, restore, and rebuild. Within weeks, you'll feel it steadier, balanced, deeper rest and energy that doesn't vanish by noon. If this message resonated with you, don't let it fade. Save this video so you can return to it whenever you need it. A reminder that aging doesn't mean weakness, it means wisdom. And if you want more simple science-based health insights that help you stay strong, independent, and confident, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Tell me in the comments, will you start your nighttime ritual tonight?